And in accordance with the Local Government Act 1993, Cowra Council is recording general committee and council meetings. Please note that this meeting is being recorded and will be uploaded on Tuesday morning. By speaking at these meetings, you agree to being recorded. Please ensure that when you speak at this meeting, you ensure you are respectful to others and use appropriate language at all times. Cowra Council accepts no liability for any defamatory or offensive remarks or gestures that made during the course of this meeting. We acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land in which we gather, the Wiradjuri people, pay our respects to elders past, present and emerging. Apologies and applications for leave of absence by councillors. Councillor Judy Smith is on leave and Councillor Sharon Delbo is also absent for personal reasons. Moved Councillors Paul Smith, seconded Councillor West. Thank you very much. Disclosures of interest. Councillors and staff, please indicate. I'll put the motion that applications for leave of absence be accepted. All those in favour? All those against? Thank you very much. Disclosure of interest. Councillors and staff, please indicate in relation to any interest you need to declare what report item you are declaring interest in, whether the interest is pecuniary or non-pecuniary, and what the nature of the interest. Councillor, yes.
Just want to declare a very minor non-pecuniary interest in item 3.1, which is the donation to Cowra Public School. I have a family member that works there. He's not involved in the event and I'll stay in the room.
I'd like to declare a minor non-pecuniary interest in item 3.3 and 7.1, which is essentially the same one. The DA of 17 Walker Street. Applicant is a school teacher of one of my children, and the submission is a volunteer for my not-for-profit organisation. But I will stay in the chamber to both minor and non-pecuniary.
Councillor Wright.
Thank you. I declare a non-pecuniary interest in item 3.1, the donation to the public schools, school spectacular event, as Marianne, my wife, or partner or friend, is help me organise it. I think she might have signed the application.
Are you going
to? And I will leave the room.
Thank you. Councillor Watt.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I would like to declare an interest in item 3.4. It is a non-pecuniary interest. My close family member is involved in preparing the submission and I will leave the room. I would like to declare a non-pecuniary interest in item 6.1 as we are voting on a recommendation by Cowra Tourism that I'm the independent chair of, and as it is a minor and non-pecuniary interest, I'll stay in the room. Sorry, what was that, Paul? I said, well, that's not up to me. I'm going to make the decision as is. And are we still discussing 10.1? Is that still on the agenda? Yes. I will declare a non-pecuniary interest in item 10.1 as I own a business at the Cowra Airport, and I will leave the room.
Thank you, Councillor Watt. Councillor West.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Just a couple of very minor ones in 4.2, community grants, the vague association with those in the Sonic Ball and also the CWA 100-year celebrations. So I declare a non-pecuniary interest in minor nature, and I'll stay within the chamber.
Thank you. Councillor Smith.
Yes, Mayor Fagan, I have a non-pecuniary interest in item 3.4, DA in Traminal Lane. My son is a neighbour, but I will stay in the room.
Thank you. I also have a non-pecuniary interest in 3.4 in Traminal Lane, and I will be leaving the room as I own my family owns the property next door. Anyone else? Okay, so I've moved those. Don't have to. So the presentations, there are no presentations, but public forum, we have Mrs. Raylene Beecher, Miss Raylene Beecher, who's going to come and address us. Thank you very much, Raylene. If you'd like to come to the podium, push the red button. And
I sing a little song. No, I don't.
She's speaking on item number 5.4.
5.4. Okay, so I've just come today to address council, and thank you for allowing me to come. The PCYC has got the services of a chap called Leonard King, who was an NBA player in America. And it all occurred because I rang him to say, you know, how much would it cost if my boys would like to come over, and the cost of sending accommodation, petrol, you know. And when he told me how much, I just went, okay, what would be really good if people like you could come out to regional New South Wales? He said, oh, that could be done. So that's how that all started. And then I headed over to PCYC. I said, look, would you like a chap to come to PCYC to do some high performance coaching? He said, yes, that'd be great. So we've got as I rang them on Friday, there is 110 children coming to that event. All of them very keen to have, you know, high performance coaching is that next level that our regional kids don't get a crack at because they don't live in a city. And I went to the RSL club or the services club, and they said, well, we'll pay for 2 nights accommodation for him to stay. Gerard's going to feed him on the Saturday night with a lovely meal. And the PCYC were charging him $50 an hour to hire the court. So that's why I put an application to see whether we could get some funds from the council to cover those costs. Yeah, there are lots of children in town that are quite talented basketball, and we really haven't had basketball going for a couple of years since, you know, I was a young girl at that level. And to have someone say yes, who was willing to come here and is quite keen to come and see the POW, and he's coming over Friday afternoon because he wants to come and see all the touristy things, I think is a real asset to Cowra. And I think it would be very disappointing if we, you know, he's still coming anyway. You know, frankly, if you don't do it, I'm going to pay for the court costs anyway, because I think it's a valued thing for young children. And I'm already giving out 3 or 4 $50 vouchers to a couple of young boys who are Indigenous guys that have been teaching my boys on a Saturday for free. So that's my 10 cents worth. Thank you.
Thank you, Raylene. Thank you for clarifying. Any councillors have any questions of Raylene? Yes, Nikki?
Thank you. Just wondering, if we've got 110 kids, if there are a cap, that's an extraordinary number. Or are we able to cater for more potentially? Or
You're right.
He'd given me a figure of saying, if you could give me, if it'd make it worthwhile if I had 30 children, okay, for each session. So he's got 4 sessions.
Oh,
And so
really?
I said to him, how many would you, you know, stretch it out to? And he said 35. So we've already got kids on a waiting list we've got 40 kids nearly on every waiting list. So there's 35 definitely for the 2 senior ones, which is high school. And there's 20 on Friday. There was 25 on the Saturday morning one, and I think 30. And I've also engaged young Pacers, which is a basketball association in Young, and they were going to bring a busload over. And I went, well, we don't bring a busload, we've still got to fill the Cowra kids first. So I talked to Jeff, and he said, we'll leave 10 spots for Young, because they've got some elite kids, you know, going as well. So, and I actually was talking to him last night. He said, you know, we're still bringing some kids over. I said, well, you remember, you've got to get your money in, otherwise the kids on the waiting list, you know, can go in. So no, there's no possibility to take like 35 is the max for each session. And you know, as a teacher, that's a lot. And I was going to go over and give him a hand as well. So I don't think he'll need it. If you've YouTubed him, he's quite a large, funny character with a big personality. I think the kids will just be in awe of him. You know, 6'6", and you know, an ex-NBA player. So it's pretty impressive.
Thank you. That actually does help clarify my thought, because on the poster it says this 30 spots only, but clearly that's for each session. And I was thinking, what do we do with all these other kids? So that's brilliant.
Thank you. Thanks very much, Raylene. Okay, so we want the confirmation of minutes of the ordinary council meeting held on 25th of September 2023. Somebody move that. Thank you, Councillor Watt. Councillor Downey. All in favour? The confirmation, of the confidential minutes. That's included. General committee recommendations. Thank you. General committee recommendations from the committee on Monday, 9th of October, the Nation Cowra Public Schools School Spectacular event. Councillor Wright is leaving the room. Somebody move that. Councillor Kiss, Councillor Smith. You want to speak, Councillor Kiss?
No, look, I think it's a very worthwhile donation. I look forward to hearing how all of our schools at Cowra have gone at the school spectacular. An awesome opportunity.
Councillor Smith?
Just to say that we've already set a precedent with the Mulligan School, and I agree with Councillor Kiss that it's good to see our schools being represented.
Anyone else? I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Those against? Could you get Councillor Wright, please? Now we're talking about investments, part number 3.2, page 37. Councillor Wright. Page 37, investments. Somebody move that. Councillor Smith. Somebody second that. Councillor Kiss. Councillor.
I'd just like to say that it's very pleasing to see that we do get a return on our investments these days. We're up around 5%, which is very pleasing. Probably not so much if you've got a big mortgage, but we're investing, so it's good for us.
Councillor Kiss, no comment. Anyone else like to comment? I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Thank you. Council number 3.3, the development application for 17 Walker Street, which was
Madam Mayor, I'm happy to move this be noted.
Be noted, thank
Dealt with
you.
later in the report.
Thank you very much. Somebody second that? Councillor Downey. All those in favour? Thank you. So we move on to 3.4, which is also a development application. Is this correct? Yep. Oh, this is where it is. Sorry. This is the one I've got to declare an interest in. So I'm going to leave the room and declare an interest. Councillor, yeah.
Okay, councillors, we've got a DA for lot 32 on Treminal Lane, item 3.4. Does anybody want to move that we pass that? Thank you, Councillor Kiss.
Happy to second.
Councillor West. Councillor Kiss, would you like to speak on it?
No.
Councillor West.
This was dealt with in committee. Councillor Smith dealt with committee. It's been well determined by staff. It's appropriate that it proceed. We note the reasons with council that it's appropriately handled, and I think we should be accepting this as something we should allow to continue to take place.
Okay, councillors, remember it's a DA. All those in favour? Would anyone else like to speak on it before we vote? No. All in favour? No. Thank you, councillors.
Did you do development application 3.5? Okay, 3.5 development application number 78, 42 Belmore Street, Woodstock. I have a mover. Councillor West, Councillor Downey. You'd like to speak, Councillor West?
Again, Madam Mayor, has been dealt with in committee. Some discussion around this, but it's an appropriate development in the appropriate part of the Shire, and it's good to see some residential development in the villages, particularly in the beautiful village of Woodstock.
Thank you.
Commend it to my colleagues.
Thank you, Councillor West. Councillor Downey. I'll put the, any other speakers?
Yes,
Councillor Wright.
I think I read this right. They're bringing a house from somewhere else to put there, so it's a very good recycling outcome.
Thank you, councillor Wright. I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Thank you. Now, the General Manager's report, the 4.1 Local Government New South Wales Annual Conference voting delegates.
So I'm happy to move the recommendation that I would insert the name of the Mayor and Deputy Mayor as the voting delegates.
Thank you, councillor West. Do I have a seconder for that? Councillor Kiss. Anyone want to comment? Oh, do you want to speak
I'm
to that?
quite happy to speak to it.
You get a second?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Councillor Keith, if the Mayor and Deputy Mayor are going to these conferences, then it's appropriate and protocol would dictate that they should be the voting delegates. I think that's why I would read it. It doesn't stop people from being involved in the conference. It just means that we have those as the due respect to the Mayor and Deputy Mayor, the voting delegates. That's all.
Thank you, councillor West. Councillor Kiss. Anyone else like to comment? Councillor
Yeah,
Wright?
just briefly, I fully support that the Mayor and Deputy Mayor be the voting delegates as they are our elected leaders, and but I think there's six councillors there, which is quite a large 7, is it? And I think it's a good opportunity for the mayor and the deputy mayor to discuss the things with the other councillors there and ensure they vote the best way for our shire. Thank you.
Thank you, councillor Wright. Any other speakers? Right reply?
Thank you. Probably agree with Councillor Wright, but I think in the past traditions have been that whilst there have been voting delegates at these conferences, there always has been a good conversation between the delegates who are in attendance and a lot of opportunity to discuss other issues as well, but a chance for our Mayor and Deputy Mayor to I guess be at the front of leading this as our civic leaders at this particular point in time.
Thank you very much. We have got 3 motions, hopefully in the business papers, so we will all be busy, I think. Thank you. I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Against? Carried. Now, community grants, round 1, allocation of funds. Councillor Nikki Kiss and Councillor Downing, thank you very much. Councillor Kiss, would you like to speak on this?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Look, it's actually a privilege every time when we go through these community grants just to be able to be reminded of the incredible work that's going on in our community by these volunteers. And I think that council owes it to our community volunteers to be supporting them in these manner. Very worthwhile in our awesome community. Thank you.
Councillor Downing?
I'd just like to support what Councillor Kiss has said. I too am very happy when these donations come up, and it's not a huge amount of money each time, but it just helps all our small clubs who work so hard during the year to raise funds to get some support from us for things such as laptops and maintenance and things they need done. So yeah, very happy to support that.
Thank you. Anyone else like to comment? If not, I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Against? Carried. Thank you. The number 5, Director of Corporate Services, 5.1, the Country University Centre on page 68. Thank you, Councillor West. And we have a second, Councillor Watt. Would you like to speak, Councillor West?
I'm probably happy just to wait for the right reply if I need it, Madam Chair.
Councillor Watt?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Very briefly, the Country University Centre has been a fantastic program that Council was part of advocating for and setting up here. And Councillor Judy Smith was a very strong part of that, and I'm very happy to support her continuing to be a board director in her time.
Thank you very much. Any further comment? Right
Yes.
reply? Oh, Councillor Wright.
Yeah, no, I support the report and everything, and I don't know if it's good or bad, but a lot of education is done online or from home or not at a facility, and probably showing my age. And I think a centre like this gives everyone an opportunity to fulfill their dreams or where they want to get to, and and have a facility where they can access all the information they need, or even just see someone to help them through whatever course they're doing. Thank you.
Excellent. I do note that there's 51 registrations, which is a really great number, a terrific number straight away, and it hasn't been going very long, so that's a very good report. Councillor West.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Firstly, I just want to acknowledge and thank both Councillor Watt and Councillor Wright. They're both completely correct. This is, I think, something very important to our community. It provides people an opportunity to live in the Shire, undertake university courses or further education whilst working, whilst with the home, whether it be an undergraduate or someone who's just trying to work their way through university. And we all know that online courses are now becoming far more prevalent in terms of education, and it's important that this community and this council supports that facility as much as we possibly can to encourage young people to be able to further their education, those who want to and are able to further their education while still at home if that's their want. And I think it's important we go down this path, and I can think of a whole host of members of our community who will benefit from being able to use this facility in Cowra, and not just in Cowra, in the broader vicinity of Cowra, to help educate our community, and that will benefit our community going forward with people having university degrees and hopefully remaining within the precinct of this Shire and this region. So I think it's something we as a council have been involved with, and we should continue to be involved with. And Councillor Smith, of course, has led this and been a very, very strong advocate, as have a couple others in the chamber, but a very strong advocate. And I think to have her on board is appropriate and I think beneficial.
Thank you, Councillor West. I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Carried. Thank you. Now, 5.2 is the regional art gallery policies. There's a policy there that has got a minor change in it, and it's been on exhibition. And so I'd like somebody to move that, if you could. Councillor Kiss. Anyone else? Councillor Downing, thank you very much. Can you like to speak, Councillor Kiss?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. As Madam Mayor has just mentioned, it is a very minor change to the policy, basically saying that where the gifts are made under the Cultural Gifts Program, they won't be returned to the donor, as the donor has already received the benefit of tax deduction for the gift. Quite a minor change, but something that is necessary to be added and absolutely documented. Thank you.
Anyone else? Councillor Downing, thank you. Anyone else like to comment? I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Aye. Thank you. Carried. Now we've got Councillor number 5.3 is a release of closed decisions on page 84. And somebody moved that be done.
Housekeeping, happy to move.
Councillor West, Councillor Smith, thank you very much. Would you like to speak, Councillor West?
No, housekeeping.
Councillor Smith? Anyone else want to comment? Oh, in that case, I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Thank you very much. Carried. The donation to the Leonard King High Performance Basketball Coaching on page 86, 5.4. Somebody move that. Councillor Watt. Councillor Downing. Would you like to speak, Councillor Watt?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Thank you to Raylene for joining us today to give us a bit more information about this. As everyone knows, we requested some more information, and the parties have been very helpful in bringing that forth. I think in line with our donations policy, we can see here that Raylene and the PCYC have made efforts to raise funds from other means other than just council, and I think it's a great opportunity for us to contribute to something that will be a fantastic event for the community. As Raylene mentioned, they're providing quite complex expertise at this session, and looking forward to seeing how they go there. Good luck to all the 110 who've registered.
Thank you, Councillor Watt. Councillor Downing?
Yes, just to say I agree with Councillor Watt, and thank Ms Beecher for coming to speak to us tonight and explain a few things that we had questions about last time. I do know from the PCYC that they have identified some very talented young basketball players who I think will benefit from this high performance coaching. It's really lovely that someone of his standard is willing to come and give his time to a regional community. So I support that, and I hope these juniors actually enjoy every minute of it.
Thank you, Councillor Downing. Anyone else like to comment? No more comments. I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Against? Carried. Thank you. Number 5.5, the quarterly budget review statement, page 91. If I could have a mover. Councillor Watt. Councillor West. Councillor Watt, would you like to speak?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Thank you to the Director for putting together this report. As we can see, we're in a solid position with the surplus looking a little bit inflated due to the carryover of a number of grants and projects as a result of some moving of our resources being allocated to flood recovery in the last financial year. But very happy to see a surplus and an improvement overall in our first quarter.
Thank you, Councillor Watt. Councillor West.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Mayor, and obviously concur with Councillor Watt. I just hope that if anybody reads these raw figures in terms of the surplus, they don't get carried away. The council's making a lot of money or hiding money away. It's a I wouldn't say book figure, but it's a real figure, but it does not necessarily indicate the cash flow that's available on any one particular day. So it is a result of, I think, prudent management of this council, good direction concerning the staff, but also a direction that this council has had for many, many years in terms of being financially prudent. And I think we assure residents that no, we're not sitting on a pile of cash counting it. We're actually doing things within our community, and we're forward projecting the financial results for years to come, so we can hopefully intervene before we get to the point of having significant issues which may be seen in other local government areas in terms of special rate variations, not to indicate that this council in years to come might have to look at those sorts of special rate variations given rate pegging, given inflation, given those factors we can't control in terms of the cost of doing business. Then councils, like any business, have to manage their books responsibly and carefully, which this council is doing, and I'm sure will continue to do. But this figure alone, standalone, is very pleasing, and it's a result of good management.
Thank you, Councillor West. Anyone else would like to comment? And I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Against? Carried. Thank you. Did you get it?
I don't need a run.
Ah, right. Sorry.
That's okay.
I thought it was. My apologies. Okay, so the Section 355 Committee draft minutes for Cowra Regional Art Gallery, and on page 108, Councillor Kiss, Councillor Watt, Councillor Kiss.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Look, just briefly, the art gallery is always a very pleasant place to attend. I highly recommend it to anybody. I was fortunate to attend the opening of the Colleen Art Awards. Quite incredible masterpieces I find in there, and yeah, I commend their advisory committee for the work they put in, and certainly support their minutes. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Councillor Watt.
Just very briefly to highlight that there were 279 entries to the Colleen Award, which is a great result, and as Councillor Kiss mentioned, a great reflection on the work of a very active committee.
Thank you very much. It was a very nice evening. Anyone else like to comment? Okay, I'll put them.
Question if I
A right
may.
of reply.
Question if I may, and maybe
Sure.
I'm kind, but I don't note anywhere in the minutes that that the plan is going to come to council for consideration, long-term strategic planning. Is that still in the wings at some stage or not? I haven't taken on advice.
Through the chair, the plan is to bring the gallery redevelopment and the sculpture park master plan to council's November information meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you. Right of reply. Who moved it? Councillor Kiss. Okay, I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Against? Carried. The 355 Committee of the Cowra Breakout Association, on page 117. And that's okay. Councillor Watt and Councillor Downing. Thank you very much. Do you want to comment, Councillor Watt?
No, this is just procedural, resolving an issue, item that was missing from the previous minutes.
Thank you very much. Councillor Downing?
Yeah, I think that Kathy Ryan has been part of this and was just missed out last time. So it's just, yeah, fixing that up.
Thank you very much. I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Against? Carried. Number 5.8, the draft policy document, work health and safety policy, which now mostly does not have work. It's just called health and safety. So we could have somebody to move that. Councillor Smith, Councillor Kiss. Councillor Smith, would you like to speak?
Just to say that this is an important document, and also we are obliged to have this document, and it has to be accurate when we do have it. So I think I commend it to the councillors.
Thank you very much. Councillor Kiss. Anyone else like to comment? All those in favour? Those against? Carried. Thank you. The committee minutes for the Traffic Committee, 6.1 on page 123.
I'll move.
You'll move that, Councillor Smith. Anyone like Councillor West will second that. Can I just ask one little question? There doesn't seem to be a quorum. Is that mentioned? Is there a quorum? 1, 2, 3, 4. How many people? I mean, not that I'm being... Anyway, just take it on notice. How many?
Through the chair, if I can just give some advice, there, it's the traffic committee is not a committee of council per se. It's a technical committee established by TFNSW to allow council to delegate responsibilities. So the need for a quorum is not contained within those guidelines, but it should be noted that all participants, TFNSW, police, council, need to be consulted and have input into the minutes and have done so.
Excellent. That's
And-
very good advice.
And I might add, the only person missing was Sergeant Jason Marks from the Highway Patrol, and he did furnish us with his comments on all the items that were on the agenda and his thoughts.
That's great. So all of the people who are in attendance are actually, it says present and then in attendance, which is a bit misleading. But okay, they're not. Yeah, that's fine. Thank you. That's good. That's great. I mean, I just question it because it just looks a bit unusual. Yeah, not a 355 committee either.
I have been asked, Mayor Fagan, that what the situation is in the parallel parking in Liverpool Street. What it is, as you come past St Raph's School heading up the hill towards the hospital, heading east, on the intersection with Macquarie Street, there is a traffic island that's well back on the western side of that intersection, but it's right on the intersection on the eastern side. And as the cars come up, they tend to veer away from the parked cars on the left-hand side, which are at 45 degrees, which, as you stand there and watch it, you can see them, and they have hit the traffic island on occasions. But there was the room in that met the regulations, the amount of room, until we discovered there's a bike lane there. Then now we're not sure that it does. So we're measuring it all up to see whether it complies and just, but we may have to put the first 3 or 4 parks on the northern side of Liverpool Street after the intersection, if they go back to parallel, give us more width. So, yeah, Macquarie and and Liverpool. Yep. That's it.
Okay, that is it. You're speaking on that motion. Is that your, who seconded it? Councillor West? No? Yep. Councillor West, would you like to speak? Oh, okay, great. Anyone else got any questions or any discussion? Then I'll put the motion. All those in favour? And those against? Carried. Thank you. The next one is the review of the Caravan Park site layout on page 129. The recommendation is there. We've already discussed this and seen it. Thank you, Councillor Watt. Councillor Kiss. Councillor Watt, would you like to speak about this?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Yes, I'm very excited about this. We are moving forwards in implementing our master plan. This is to adopt an update to that. Following the floods last year, there was some reviews as an idea to move some things to improve our flood preparedness and resilience. And excitedly, that also includes finally having a accessible cabin on site and implementing a wash bay, as that is required now to be compliant. Those will be happening shortly. And then long-term articulated in this plan is the removal of the step slabs on the riverside area, which will also improve accessibility, which is scheduled for 24-25 financial year. As is articulated in this plan, the funds are already planned for in the long-term financial plan, and some of this is also paid for through our insurance from last year's flood. So a great plan, ticking off a number of boxes for us as a council and all within the current financial plan. So a great report.
Thank you, Councillor Watt. Councillor Kiss.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. And I can only say that, well, Councillor Watt's just taken the words right out of my mouth, but I can tell you from the Access Committee point of view, it's going to be a huge celebration. I believe I've been on the committee for about 6 years now. And one of the first things that was talked about then was having an accessible cabin. So if anything good came out of these floods, it was the insurance funds, which have now given us the opportunity to revisit what's there and put it back in better order, and hopefully also improve our tourism perspectives for people with additional needs. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Kiss. Anyone else want to comment? Councillor Wright.
Just a question regarding the vehicle washdown bay. Would it have to have filters put in to filter the water that's washed off the vehicle so there's no seeds or debris enter the river or anything?
I'll have to take that on notice, Councillor, and come back to you on that.
Yeah. I just think it'd be something like we have at the depot and that, and oil and that. Yeah.
I'll take it on notice. My initial advice is that it's like for washing your car as opposed to like the plant wash bay area that we're setting up at the depot, which needs to be covered and discharged to the sewer. So that's my initial advice, but I'll confirm that and get back to you.
Thank you, Councillor Wright. Anyone else have any comments, questions? Councillor West.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Look, this is exciting. I think it is that we've been looking at the Caravan Park for quite some time and redeveloping it. Maybe the floods forced that on us to a certain extent, but opportunity to take that advantage, so to speak. And it is something we've been looking at for quite some time as a council, so it's exciting we can get it underway. It is somewhere in this community which is incredibly well utilised. It promotes and publicises and provides a window for Cowra in many, many respects, and people come, they stay, and they leave Cowra with very positive opinions and thoughts, because it is something which has been well maintained and well run by a series of managers and also by council staff who are very much aware of the importance. So it is exciting.
Thank you, Councillor West. Anyone else would like to comment, question? If that's the case, I'll write a reply. If that's the case, I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Against? Carried. Thank you. Number 7, Director of Environmental Services report, the development application for 17 Walker Street on page 134.
Happy to move.
Thank you, Councillor West. Seconder, Councillor Watt. Councillor West.
Look, I think this is a very good development. There were some concerns raised, they've been addressed thoroughly, and those of us who had a chance to have a little bit of inspection of the site, I think were pleased, in one way of putting it, I guess, that what that site presents itself in terms of some infill development to some extent, but in a really nice, quiet part of the town. I think it's a development that appears to be very well thought out, been well determined, and it's suitable for that particular area. I think some of the issues that were raised probably are well and truly addressed, both within the assessment, but also well addressed by those of us who went and had a look and just, I guess, got our bit of dirt on our feet to have a look at the site, and I thank the director for that, and getting a full comprehension of what the development is all about. It is a good development in that part of town.
Thank you, Councillor West. Councillor Watt.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Along with Councillor West, I'd like to start by thanking the residents for taking us on a walkthrough and the director. It really helped us put together a view of what we were looking at, and I think for everyone in attendance made it very obvious that there's a large amount of space, and this is certainly a development that will provide enough space for both the people who will live there in the future and not have too much of an impact on the surrounding properties. This was reported due to objections primarily, and I'm very pleased to see quite an extensive response from the applicants to those objections, as well as it being below the minimum lot size of 700 metres squared for lot 2 and 3, but being compliant with clause 4.1c, where as a total of the 3 lots, it's over the average, which it is drastically, with lot 1 being quite large and the access points fitting in lot 1. So I'm very happy to support this development application and look forward to helping the housing crisis in Cowra little by little.
Thank you, Councillor Watt. It is an excellent development. Councillor Smith.
Yes, Mayor Fagan. I'd just like to explain that we had a resident that is worried about the water runoff of the area onto an existing problem he believes is there. However, any rainwater that falls on the development of the buildings will go into a charge system and go back out onto Walker Street. So actually this development will alleviate some of the problem that's already there, not add to it.
Thank you. Right of reply. Councillor Downing.
I'd just like to support the comments in the room as well, and just to address one of the concerns, which was that Cowra was a country town and we don't need to jam houses in unnecessary spots as subdivisions are not completely full. In my opinion, we balance that out. Everyone knows we have housing issues and more housing is needed in every part of New South Wales and Australia at the moment. And so as a council, we look at these things and we try to balance them out. So there are conditions on this. I'm happy to support this and that those conditions will be complied with and our staff can work through those with the developers, and that I just think that we do need more housing, and I think this is a good start.
Thank you, Councillor Downing. Right of reply.
Just very, very quickly, I think everybody's on the same page, Madam Mayor, but just pick up from what has been alluded to. I think I indicated, and others have indicated, which has been well assessed and appropriately assessed, but one of those who had a concern around water and overland water on their property are very pleased with the result, and are very complimentary of the support and the understanding they got of council staff in determining this and making sure that their concerns were well and truly heard. Our staff get a bit of a bad rap from time to time. I think it's one of those occasions where someone who was having concerns has come out privately at least and said to us that, hey, we're pretty pleased with the way this has been handled and the response we got from council staff.
Thank you, Councillor West. Any further comments? I thought you had, wasn't it? Who had the right of reply? Sorry. Oh, that was your right of reply. Sorry, my apologies. Hands up for if anyone wants to vote for this. voting? Anyone voting in favour? Hands up. Sorry. Anyone against? Carried unanimously. Thank you very much for your patience. I got a bit lost in his reply. We have any late reports? None. No late reports from everybody. Any no confidential matters, and so I'll need to take a motion to close the meeting to the public to consider the following confidential reports. From the General Manager, the sale of land at Cowra Airport, Lot 9 to Errol Becaire. 12.1 from the Director of Infrastructure and Operations, request for quotation, tender and supply and delivery of road signs for Central New South Wales Council. And number 12.2 from the Director of Infrastructure and Operations, request for quotation, Cowra Aquatic Centre upgrade detailed design. These matters are considered. It's and. I have to do it differently, do I? These matters are considered to be confidential under Section 10A2D1 of the Local Government Act, and the Council is satisfied that discussion of these matters in an open meeting would, on balance, be contrary to the public interest as they deal with commercial information of a confidential nature that would, if disclosed, prejudice the commercial position of the person who supplied it. And item 11.1 from the Director of Corporate Services, Cowra Civic Centre Seating Upgrade Project. It's the auditorium floor remodelling tender 14/2023. This matter is considered to be confidential under Section 10A2C of the Local Government Act, and the Council is satisfied that discussion of this matter in an open meeting would, on balance, be contrary to the public interest as it deals with information that would, if disclosed, confer a commercial advantage on a person with whom Council is conducting or proposes to conduct business. I now declare the meeting closed. I need a mover. Councillor Downing and Councillor Kiss will move. Anyone? I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Thank you, Councillor Wright. Excellent. I now close the session.